What if two Stormtroopers accidentally became royal guards and Darth Vader picked them without knowing? This is a fan comic from me that I made myself. Since Disney won't make these obscure interesting stories, then I will make them myself. As with many Imperial stories, this starts aboard a Star Destroyer where two Stormtroopers are just foot patrolling the area. Many others are meandering around, waiting for the arrival of a special unit, a unit that they had dreamed of seeing one day, never aspirations of actually becoming one of them. Suddenly, an alarm goes off. They have finally arrived. Most of the Stormtroopers align. These two Stormtroopers align at the other side, and they give a glance to each other, finally knowing that their dream would come true. All they dreamed about was one day becoming royal guards, albeit knowing that they could never actually achieve it since their training was rigorous, especially under Darth Vader. Now their dream had become a reality. The special unit of the royal guards had arrived. This was a unit led by Darth Vader himself, which he took for only special missions. They had their elite look to them. They looked even better than the two Stormtroopers ever imagined. TK-59 and TK-67 only could watch on. TK-67 was just odd. He didn't even flinch. He just stood there watching, while 59 tried to look his best, but seeing them up close did shatter his self-confidence. They were two measly Stormtroopers, nothing more. These guys were the elite of the elite, led by Darth Vader, and their mind even crossed. In their own mind, they were so baffled by the royal guards, they didn't even think that perhaps Darth Vader could pay a visit too. With the royal guards now at their stations, the Stormtroopers just were left by their lonesome. The greeting was finished. Most of them continued throughout their patrol, but 59 and 67 noticed something. One of the royal guards passed by them and went into this room that they had never really frequented aboard. They didn't even know that it was there before. Sneakingly, both of them looked on in amazement. What could be behind that door? What is actually inside that room? 67 was the curious one. He immediately started walking towards that room quietly. It was almost as he was sneaking, not to be heard by the royal guard or anybody else. With 59 behind, albeit the more cowardly one, he still hesitated, but he was curious too at the very least. Now they approached the door, and behind it was something spectacular, something that in their mind they had dreamed of through all of their lives. They have discussed this privately, but never really thought they would get the chance to see the locker room of actual royal guards with uniforms waiting right there for the taking. 67 turns to 59 and tells him that he is going in. He wants to try at least once in his life, in his miserable life, he is going to try that uniform on just to see how it fits, how it looks. He knows he's tall enough to be a royal guard. 67 makes the first move. 59 is now crippled by fear. He warns 67 that somebody is going to discover them, and when they do, they're going to be executed by the royal guards themselves, perhaps. He pleads with 67 to leave this alone, but nothing could deter his spirit at this moment. He would never get this opportunity. He would never get this chance again. This is a once-in-a-lifetime thing. He just wanted to feel that armor on his skin just once in his life. It wasn't a question in his mind anymore. 67 walked in and actually put on the robe, the imperial red robe that the prestige royal guards wore. Once he got partly dressed, he walked out for 59 to just burst into jealousy. He looked prime time. 59 no longer had an option. Once seeing this, out of envy, he just couldn't resist anymore. He walked into the room too, and if they would fall, they would both fall together as brotherly royal guards. And yeah, they tried it, and they both thought that they looked absolutely fantastic, amazing. Never had they experienced this type of a joy in their life. They both started talking about how each other looks. Of course, 67 thought that he looked better. Out in the distance though, footsteps can be heard as somebody has come aboard. An alarm had gone off, but the two Stormtroopers, 59 and 67, had not heard it amidst their joy and their confusion. Suddenly, the locker room doors open and somebody very important walks in on both of them. That is, of course, Lord Vader. He had come to collect his team of royal guards, and unfortunately, right now, he was talking to two Stormtroopers unknowingly. The guys were stunned. How can they even muster the words words to tell the Dark Lord of the Sith that we were mere stormtroopers. None of them could do anything, not even explain themselves, except to bow their heads in respect, pretending to be royal guards. Without looking at each other, 67 just slightly bumped the hand of 59, signaling for him to just go with it. It is too late for us to explain ourselves, and even if we do at this point, we're gonna get executed not by royal guards, but by Darth Vader himself. Now others joined the fray. The royal guards had banded together to hear the instructions of Lord Vader, and 5967 were right behind. They were just blending into the crowd of royal guards without anybody noticing anything. They were all focused on Darth Vader and his message. He ordered for all of them to join him into the briefing room. There was a grand mission that needed to be tended to, and only his special team of royal guards were ready, because what they would face would be the most dangerous mission that they had ever embarked upon. This, of course, was not great news for our two stormtroopers who don't have a clue about what's going on. They were not going to speak up though. They just bowed down and knelt before Darth Vader. In the briefing room, he went on to explain that there is a rogue inquisitor, an inquisitor that had taken upon himself to recruit Imperial factions, stormtroopers, technicians, death troopers. He had secretly created his own mini faction against the Empire, and now was wreaking havoc in the Outer Rim. "Be wary," said Darth Vader. "Most of you have never fought Jedi or Inquisitors. If you survive this," says Lord Vader, "then I will know you are worthy of my time and my training." 59 and 67 were scared to death. Without uttering a word to each other, they simply followed the other royal guards and Darth Vader into the shuttle bay and onto the starfighters. Darth Vader had located this rogue inquisitor and was going to pay him a visit. This was going to be a full-on battle, that these two guys would surely die. And it's at that moment 59 turns towards 67. 67 reassures 59 and tells him that, hey, even if we die, we will die as royal guards. Down on the sandy planet, you can see this rogue inquisitor with his mini army prepping for the battle. The inquisitor being down on the sandy planet, you can see stormtroopers with a variant of different armor. They were more blackened, more shiny, to serve this dark inquisitor that had completely gone rogue, and he was one of the more dangerous inquisitors in the group, so he knew fully well what he was expecting. Even he, though, didn't know that he would be confronted by two fake royal guards, and in what turns out to be the fight of the century. This is where I ended my fan comic. This is part 1, of course, and I'm gonna continue this story because I have really big plans for how 59 and 67 make it out of this. So be sure to subscribe and waiting for part 2 and other fan comics that I'm posting almost every day. Thank you so much for watching, and if you want to watch more videos like this, then click the end screen.